And Luke doesn't claim to be an apostle. I mean, as you well know, Tim, he prefaces his gospel by saying that he's drawing up an orderly account in order to interview eyewitnesses and write this gospel for either this guy or this group named Theophilus. Now, what I think is interesting is if you were going to make that up, why on earth not put an apostle's name on it? And I think that connects it with its validity in the sense of there is no reason to put Mark's name on Mark and Luke's name on Luke unless that's who wrote it.
Yeah.
And there's another thing. So sometimes you'll read this stuff and scholars will talk about the Gospels being internally anonymous. And you'll think, what are they talking about? Well, the idea is that if you took off those headings, the Gospel according to, and just read the Gospel, you wouldn't know who the author was. And so that's the idea that they're internally anonymous. And some of these other Gospels, these apocryphal Gospels, go to lengths to try to validate who the author is. The internal anonymity speaks to its reliability in the sense that it's not concerned with, hey, I'm this guy, believe me. It's, hey, check out Jesus. Check out this Jesus guy. You really need to hear about this Jesus guy. And even if you associate the Gospel of John with John, the son of Zebedee, and the source information being that beloved disciple who's referred to many times, assuming that's the apostle, he's even trying to back up from saying, I'm this guy who is really close to Jesus. I'm an apostle. And we don't see that in a lot of the other apocryphal literature. In fact, we see the opposite. And I think that that's very interesting. And because I'm a manuscript guy, the manuscripts that we have where it's like the first page and it has that title, the Gospel according to in Greek, on copies of Matthew, it's always the Gospel of Matthew. It's never misnamed. It's always the Gospel of Luke. It's never misnamed. It's always the Gospel of John. And that, I think, also speaks to the fact that from as early as you want to push it, there was total consensus that these were the authors, and you never see someone else's name being attributed to what we have a canonical gospel.
That's a really good point, because you think, man, if there might be some competition, whose name should we put on this document, right? And so let's throw Peter, let's throw, and instead you have just, one uniform tradition.